Well, hello everyone. Here to show you the Cars Tractor Tip 6 coloring right here. So you guys see 6 is sequel. Is that you have right here is that you show is what's shown right here is that you got right here is the crossing is like it's like with the road crossing right here, and then along right here is like the tractor, the tractor tip scene right here is it talking about it's like go from it's like the farmland, and of course you got right here is like what you call like McQueen, and then it's like the girls like Sally and like McQueen, and then along right here it's like you got here is it's like the farm, it's like a speed runner right here, it's like what you call is the farm field rider it is, and right here is talking about is a scene talking about with structures with that most of us would probably think about is that of course, if you've seen from the previous coloring, is talking about is like is that you're gone from it's like talking about is like you're going from from the sandy beach, and then along with that of course it could be number of places locations it is, and then of course it's like if you were to be talking about is like having a race at some location, if it's a racetrack or anything, but if anything, which most of us probably think about is like with racetracks, most likely if they would be located like on a bridge, it's like have it to where anywhere on a racetrack, which I've probably seen it maybe a couple of times on NASCAR racing. It's like you would do like a stunt jump it is, and a lot of times is that you probably think about is that that of course I don't remember any part in the movie, unless if it was on a Cars 2 that there was like a stunt jump inside the movie. But other than that is like you have it to where that is like with the bridge crossing right here. What the bridge crossing is talking about is a bridge, and then don't know exactly where the bridge could be located, and of course is talking about with structures. Most of us would probably think about is like with the structure that you probably think about of a structure that if it crosses somewhere, it could be a river or it could be a stream or something like that. But go ahead and what you call draw meter right here. It's like you have see here without even looking at a picture, go ahead and draw in meter right here. If you will be like what you call it's like on top of the bridge right there. And of course that a lot of people probably think about is that if you were to draw something, a lot of times that maybe you could probably think about is like really you cannot do it without looking at a picture, and sometimes to say it may not turn out as well if compared to maybe looking at a picture just to kind of get you an idea of what it looks like or whatever. But anyway, it's like don't leave me with too much space to work with. It's like after I get the bridge right there drawn in, but of course you got right there is meter. Meter the tow truck it is, but to go ahead and add is the crane right there. It's like with the crane operator is that scene right here is like the track would be at about right here, but let's just say that if he were to be parked about somewhere located on that bridge, it's like if it's eastbound or westbound, whatever direction that it would be located. But other than that you got right there is with meter right there. And then with meter is talking about is like if you want to add some details right here for where the bridge crosses. The bridge could cross a river or a stream, or it could just cross a highway, a normal highway. But a lot of times let's say if you're going to have a race, and a lot of times people say racing. Racing pretty much means that getting somewhere at that certain destination, faster than the other person that you're challenging, I guess. A lot of people probably think that that's usually what it means, but anyway, but let's just say draw like a little draw like a stream right here. Draw a stream, and then from there, and then talk about with structures that we could probably think about is that yeah, whatever that comes to our mind is that of course you're starting from a blank piece of paper, and a lot of people probably think about is really that with so much little detail that you have in mind, that it's like you could maybe start out with the square, if it's start out with the square or triangle, and then the assignment could be is the fact about that if you were to do like a calculation, a problem, like it's like whatever shape that it is, it's like if it's equal to to the smaller shape or to the bigger shape or anything like that. But I never really had any type of mathematical, calculus type problems. But let's just say that you get some ideas with the different colors that you're working with. But talk about with structures, is that type of structures that maybe we can explore nowadays. If it's a tunnel, anything that crosses a road, or anything like anything that that connects to a certain street. It's like for the racetrack. It's like right here is the details that I went ahead and drew. Right here is for the racetrack. It is, and a lot of people will probably think about is that you really don't normally see anything like a bridge or anything like that. That would be what you call have like any type of race course. It's like I remember the racing games that I played a long time ago, played a while back on the Nintendo 64. It was, other than the Genesis, but the Nintendo 64. I remember that a few racing games that I played at one time had it to where that you would be able to select the car that you want to drive for a racing course, and then a lot of times it would have it to where you would earn money to be able to put advance your engine if you want to put a more powerful engine inside there. And then on the other hand too, that select about if you want to give your car a custom paint job, something like that, a paint job, or it could be something I don't know. I'm sure that there are games to where you can actually stop, but you'll do a rest stop somewhere and actually buy stuff at like markets and stuff like that. If it's refill gas, or maybe if you're stopping, for if you want to buy, see here, maybe buy a tractor. I guess that they have games like see train, other than Train Simulator, they have like games where you can actually drive farm equipment. It is, and then it's like you got the cars. It's like you got the tractor right there. It's like you gotta say with the green, but then of course go ahead and go to the black here. But other than that, let's talk about with racetracks. With most racetracks, is that they would have like bridges and tunnels along with it, and just that you would get some ideas about what you think about it. Is like with Lightning McQueen, and then along with Sally, is that it's like if you want to give them, let's say maybe a paint job or whatever, if they win a race, and then it's like it's your choice for how you want to spend the money that you earn. But other than that, it's like with the Piston Cup also. And I don't know, I could add some red, and then along with it, see some purple. It is here to Sally. It's like so far as a comment, it's like. But I remember from the first movie, it's like it's just an empty cup. But other than that, really, that with the Piston Cup, I just at the time you begin to wonder about that. It's like with the Piston Cup, it's like if you were to win it, then more likely you could probably think about it's like the shape of it. The shape of it, I'm like, yeah, that really. Is it really just a Piston Cup, or is it more than just a Piston Cup? Is it a cup, for knowing about, maybe about, keeping track of scores, about how many races that you won over the years or anything like that? It's like you can draw, a cup right here. It's like for the Piston Cup. And it's like if you do the calculation right, it's like you do the measures right for so far structures. Is it doing a calculation right, and then it's like you go from 1 to 5 or whatever you call it. It's like how many races, if you came in first place, or if it's second place or whatever, that knowing about, even if it's sixth place, knowing about the racing skills that you have. But other than that, let's talk about with structures. Is if you want to what you call use your imagination by, like if you had a bridge that crossed a certain road, and go ahead and draw like the details of the bridge right here. The bridge will be about right here. I remember whenever I took the driving course, a lot of times the driving instructors would draw out what they talk about. If you turn into going the wrong direction or whatever you call it on the road, that a lot of times that they would draw out what they're talking about. Just know it's like if you were coming on the eastbound, westbound, and then what would you need to do if you came up to a time for cars coming from the opposite direction. But so normally is find a place where you turn around, huh? But you got the details right here is for the bridge. More likely you have maybe a few other buildings right here. They could be office buildings or business buildings, or and of course, where is that bridge cross? More likely that kind of bridge I normally see is like crossing the river. It could be the Merrimack River or the Mississippi River or something like that. But so far as it's like with the kind of like you say, it was what kind of like with the thing, maybe what the president said is known about the bridges and stuff, our bridges and then our overpasses and stuff, about what type of what it takes. It's like knowing about how interesting it is, knowing about the fact about how well that they are built, and then of course the type of education that most students would need, just to know how they're built. And of course that I'm sure that there's more exciting things about learning about bridges and stuff other than the fact about knowing about exactly the type of design that maybe the city limit wants or whatever, maybe the city or the county or the state or whatever what they'll allow. But other than that, with the overpasses, the studying about the overpasses, and then of course about the structures, it is about other than with the Piston Cup is knowing about the highway, and then a lot is like with the structures is know about with Mater, that know about this, like whatever it is like you got the tow truck and the tow, if you get stranded somewhere, due to weather conditions. But other than that is knowing about is a study about really about how it works. But other than that is like we all think about is like if you build it, it will come. But other than that is like knowing about who built this and who built that, and knowing is that we can all work together, to build it, to make it happen. But other than that is that you got right here is the coloring book cars, and it's like the color, the coloring cars is like say kind of like a book. But other than that is that the cars that tractor tip coloring part 6 along to structures coloring.